Well, absolutely the best way is to get a referral. If you're active in your local writing community, or if you know other writers in other parts of the country, you can ask for a referral if they've used a freelance editor in the past. You want to get 2 or 3 referrals and compare. You can shop for an editor on the internet, just bearing in mind that the internet is the Wild West of modern commerce, so you want to check out an editor's credentials and experience very carefully. And even if you're getting a referral, you want to check out the experience and credentials of the editor. And not only that, but you want to get a sample edit of your material. They can show you samples of other things they've edited, that's fine. But you want to get a sample of your material, the first few pages. Most freelance editors will be happy to do that without charging you. And you want to get 2 or 3 samples of the same material so that you can see exactly what the differences are between the way they handle it. If you have any doubts at all, ask the editor for a non-disclosure agreement, which is usually a very simple 1-page agreement. When you get to the point of working with the editor, actually doing the job, you want to use a service agreement. The editor will probably have one that he or she uses regularly, and it should contain a clause that recognizes your implied copyright. Just as if you're going out shopping for a car, you would look at Blue Book. If you're shopping for an editor, you probably want to look at a pricing guide just to get an idea of what editors charge. One of the really popular ones is published annually in Writer's Market, which is a thick volume that's published every year, and in there's a small section about pricing that covers prices of everything that writers and editors do. Now, probably for most people, the high end of that range is going to be a little bit tough on the budget. You don't necessarily have to pay top dollar to get a great editing job. The red flag would be if you find somebody who's well below the bottom end of that range. Do they value their abilities, their talent, at a lower rate than others, and why is that? Sure, well, the other big probably red flag would be just beyond a lack of credentials or a lack of experience. The big one would be any kind of an outrageous claim. Of course, if you're working on something you believe in, you believe it's going to be a bestseller, you might believe you're going to win the Pulitzer Prize, and that's fine. But if you find an editor who's going to say, I can make this into a best-selling novel, that could be a problem. And from the writer's perspective, if you go out looking for somebody and you say, I want you to make this into a bestseller, if you look long enough and hard enough, especially on the internet, you'll find somebody who'll tell you anything you want to hear. So be careful of soliciting outrageous claims or of people who volunteer outrageous claims. You want to think of the editing experience as a learning process, and you should be a better writer at the end of that experience than you were to begin with. Whatever comes of the book that you're working on, or whatever it is that you're doing, just continue to write. Don't rest on your laurels if you have some success, and that's great. And don't be intimidated if you start running into some stumbling blocks. Just continue to write. If this is something that you want to do, if this is what you've chosen as the thing that you really want to do, whether it's as a hobby or as potentially as a profession, continue to work at it and continue to learn and grow.